Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is TJ Fredette. We got a couple different things we're going to go over today. I want to welcome you guys. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go over Jimmer's game yesterday, get through his stats, and then I'm just going to tell you guys a story. I got a story for you guys. I hope you guys will enjoy it. So to start out, Jimmer's game yesterday. So the game begins, and I am on the phone with a guy from Flow Sports, basically yelling at him because for the second time in 3 games, our connection was not working to watch the game. So I was so frustrated because I look forward to these games. There's only one a week that we get to see in the EuroLeague, and it was not working. So I'm on the phone with this guy. The game goes on. It gets to the middle of the game. It gets to the end of the game. I am still on the phone yelling at this guy because it never worked. I missed the whole game. The thing never came on. So I'm so frustrated because I did not get to see the game. So I really don't have a breakdown for you today, and I'm sorry about that. But I know what happened. It was frustrating, but I do know what happened in the game. And I actually talked to Jimmer a little bit through text just about 10 minutes ago. So they lost the game 79-78. This is the second week in a row that they have lost by 1 point. So frustrating to lose 2 close games like that in the EuroLeague because every game is so important. So it's unfortunate, but you got to bounce back, got to be mentally tough, be ready for the next one. Jimmer had 9 points, shot real well from 2. I think he was 3 for 4. Didn't shoot too well from 3. I think he was over 3 from the 3-point line, but he'd been shooting so good this season. His percentages are still really high. So, but it was a frustrating game. Jimmer didn't play as many minutes as he normally would play. But he did tell me to say, thank you guys so much for all the support, for checking in, for sticking with him. He said, stay tuned because big things are coming. And when Jimmer says that, you know something's coming. So he said to stick with him and stay tuned. And he really appreciates all the support. To put it in perspective again, this league, teams or players don't score like they do in other leagues. Last year, my man Jay Oman sent me a thing that said that all of the players, the top players in the EuroLeague, the all Euro team, top 5 players, the leading scorer averaged 14.5 a game, and everybody else was below that. So I mean, that puts it in perspective. And Jimmer right now in the EuroLeague is averaging just under 13. And he hasn't even gotten started. He's still getting acclimated with the team. It's a new coach and everything. So stay patient. Big things are coming for Jimmer. It's just a matter of time. So, but anyway, so it's frustrating loss, frustrating game. But I feel good about them bouncing back. They're a really talented team. They're going to figure it out. Jimmer's going to be able to find a way to get more involved. And it's going to be good going forward. I really feel good about that. So anyway, to tell you my story. So when Jimmer was in the NBA, every single year I would ask him, hey, who is a player that you play against that you look at and you think, man, every time I'm on the court against this guy is tough. This guy can play. I'm talking about a guy who goes under the radar. Not a star, not a superstar, not an obvious pick like a KD or a LeBron. I want somebody who's not even an all-star, that when you play against them on the court, it's totally different than watching them on TV. And I was really interested every year to get his answer to this. So one year, he has a hard time giving me an answer. And so it gets to the end of the season, and they go and they play the Houston Rockets. And after this game, he calls me. And he's like, T, I got the player for you this year. And so he calls me and he tells me that the player was Luis Scola. He was like, man, this guy can play. Like, he just, all facets of the game. He rebounds, he defends, incredible post moves. He's a scorer, good touch around the basket. You know, he just really knows how to play the game. Smart player, good passer. And he was really impressed with Luis. He's like, this guy is tough. Like, he doesn't get the attention that he deserves. He's a real phenomenal player. And so I thought that was pretty cool. That was a good answer. Cool to hear that. And so then 3 or 4 years later, which is last year, Jimmer got to play with Luis Scola for the Shanghai Sharks. So everything came full circle, and this guy he was talking really good about ended up being his teammate. There's only 2 imports for each team in China, and it was Jimmer and Luis Scola for the Shanghai Sharks last year. And so it was really cool because I got to go over to China, and when I was there, I got to spend a lot of time with Luis Scola because the team bus would pick up the imports to bring them to practice, and I would ride to practice every day with Luis and Jimmer, and so I got to talk to him quite a bit. You know, there are some class acts in every aspect of life, and in sports, it's the same thing. You get some really good guys. I'm going to tell you, Luis Scola is one of the nicest guys you will ever meet. He is a legitimate class act. Just a really good family man, really friendly to everybody that he meets. Just a really kind soul, good guy. And so it's really cool to get to spend time with him, to get to know him and his family. He's got great sons, great parents. And one time I was riding with him on the bus, and I was actually going to go visit the Great Wall in the near future. And he'd been there 4 or 5 times. He was telling me everything about the Great Wall. Like, this guy's a historian. He just had the whole history down. And he's like, make sure you think about this when you're there and think about that. And it was really cool. It added a whole nother element to my trip because of everything that Luis told me. So, smart guy, great guy. And so anyway, the first time Jimmer meets him, he goes up to him. And they exchange pleasantries. Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. And then Jimmer's like, you know what? I think I'm still mad at you. And Luis is taken back. He's like, mad at me? What are you mad at me for? I don't even know you. You're mad at me? And so Jimmer's like, yeah, I think I'm still a little bit upset with you. And so Luis again shakes his head. He's just like, what are you talking about? What is this? What's this kid talking about? And so Jimmer's like, you don't know? He's like, 2004. All right. So now a little bit of quick trivia for all of you basketball fans out. This is not for a win of anything. I'm just testing you. All you basketball fans out there. What happened in 2004 with Luis Scola that would potentially make Jimmer mad at him? I'll give you a second. Think about it. 2004, Luis Scola. Did you get it? All right. For my basketball fans out there, I know you guys got this one. 2004, Argentina defeats the United States of America in the Olympics in basketball. It was crazy. I think it's the first time that the United States had ever lost with professional players in the Olympics. And me and Jimmer used to watch those games religiously, and we really took it serious. The Olympic basketball took pride in the United States always winning it. And Luis Scola, Manu Ginobili, Nocioni, these guys came along and just wrecked the party. And that team was just such an incredible team. And so as soon as he said 2004, Luis laughed. He knew immediately what it was. And Jimmer laughed, and they had a real cool conversation about it. I actually had an opportunity to speak to him about it as well. And he talks about how they were treated like kings in Argentina, and rightfully so. That was just such a sensational team, and everything that they did. To me, it really broke open basketball, in the world. It really did. It really took it to the next level in terms of basketball becoming a global sport. And everybody was on notice after that the rest of the world can play ball. And you're seeing it now. All these other countries just produce so much talent. And it's just such a global game now. And I think that team really was the one that put the rest of the world on notice. So it's really cool to get to meet Luis Scola and hear these stories and talk to him about those things. It was really fun. And the reason I bring all this up is because yesterday, Jimmer actually got to play Luis Scola. They were teammates last year, and they got to share the court together yesterday from opposite ends. And Luis did a great job. They got the win, so hats off to him. But anyway, so that's my story for today. Now, I got a lot of really exciting things coming up. I got some cool stuff. I got stories that people have never heard because Jimmer, sometimes he doesn't even tell people this stuff. So I got some cool stories about him meeting celebrities and different things. So please stay tuned. Stick with me. Big things are coming. Jimmer told us that big things are coming, and he says to say thank you to everybody. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you check me again next weekend, and I'll keep you up to date with everything. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you guys again really soon. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.